anything right now. So maybe just like a slight impulse to straighten up might make all the difference. And because they're all children of the player, so I saw this done in another person's example, and it just seemed all wrong to me. And I think that weirdness is actually just the result, a symptom of us nesting. So let's run through this create chain link function. Just okay, so that's kind of wrong. So the target link is actually, there's no point in taking the index, is there? Oh, I see, yeah. Okay, yeah, no, that should be fine, I guess. So we say, let's create a new instance of the link. We set the character to whatever you just picked up. We say that the position is equal to the link offset. And instead of adding it to the target link, so the position is equal to the target link dot position dot plus the link offset dot rotated by the target link's rotation. Maybe? Maybe. Okay, so we're basically just going to put it in the same position, and then we're going to rotate that offset, and then just offset it, and then it's going to be the joint is going not to be added to the target link, but to our cells, and then add the new link to our chain links array. Pushed back. Yeah, okay. The joint position. Okay, so really this should be something like var new position, right? And then that is going to be the new position, and the joint position is also going to be the new position. And then we just have to figure out how that new position is set. I think we're doing it right. Let's give it a try. I mean, yeah. Okay, well that's actually working way better now. Well, not that much better. Feeling it a little floaty. But okay. Maybe we just need to add more mass to those things. And I kind of think we don't need that sprite. I kind of like just that emptiness feeling. You know, like... Have a look. So, in the chain joint, what if we just remove the sprite? The joint appears to be working. And then if we go into the chain link, let's just give it a little bit more mass, maybe? Or... Okay, let's see if we can create a physics material. So let's just say there's no friction, but there's a very high bounce. And let's just save this as a bouncy link material. Okay. Okay, well that's odd. It's really odd. So their mass is really pulling on that joint now, and that's why it's okay. So now we can just, and I can actually feel the tail like dragging behind me, which is quite interesting as well. That additional mass, like it actually affects the ship speed a little bit. So we just need to remove the softness on those letters, on those joints, right? Yeah. So I think all the weirdness that I was experiencing was because I followed a tutorial earlier which nested every link in the chain under its parent, and I just don't think that was correct at all. But obviously right now, like, with all the I love this actually. This is feeling really fun. So basically if I get wrapped around a meteor, I get like skewered between the mass of my tail. I can actually feel it like slowing me down, so I have to sort of take my tail into consideration as I navigate. Otherwise it just drags me. Okay, that's quite cool. Alright, I'm so much happier with that, the feel of that now. Okay, cool. So if we go back to the chain joint, we've got this here, we've got this bias. The lower the bias, the more they can pull. So let's say even less bias. And the softness, let's have like way less softness, like 0.02 maybe. And see how that feels. Okay, so that offset is going to be way too big to begin with, but oh. It's quite interesting, like the longer the tail gets, the more difficult it becomes to navigate. And I think we do need a little bit more gravity on that. Maybe you can do some particle effects between the tail, so we don't need to sort of create sprites for it, but it will just still kind of feel like maybe like an energy tail. I think that will feel really cool. It's like building up this like sort of snake tail of energy. And I am noticing that last chain is getting a little bit like twisted. I don't know whether that's something that's necessarily bad, but it just feels a little unrealistic. I'd expect it to sort of hang more. So I can sort of get tangled up in my own chain. Yeah. Okay, so this is definitely more of what I was going for in terms of the tail. And our shooting mechanic it's not great. I think it definitely needs a bit more impulse. Maybe we need to provide that player's velocity to the missile when it first gets created. Otherwise, it lags too far behind the player. Okay, so let's just say this commit was improve chain feel. So what else can we do to improve this chain feel before we go? So what if it's always going to be like, can't ever need more than 9? And what if you just have 0 softness? Maybe we just take a little bit of mass off these things. I mean, like, not a little bit, a lot, and see what happens. So if we take a whole lot of the mass away, but we actually keep the gravity, turn off the dampening, and then see how that feels. I think I need a little bit more rocket power if I'm dragging this massive tail behind. Okay, so you can feel the gravity. Okay, this is feeling a bit weird. Okay, it's because we've made these way too bouncy, right? Okay, maybe we just bring the bounciness right down. Maybe we have to rename this resource then. Can we rename it here? Okay, yeah. That was really misguided of me to add a bounce of 1. Oh, that could be interesting. Have an absorbent. I actually think we want to absorb bounciness, don't we? Let's have a look. High gravity mode incoming. Yeah, there you go. Plonk. Okay, so this feels a little bit more vertical now, because this chain is sort of like, it's really dangling. So it makes the game, I think it's going to make the game more interesting, because it brings sort of an asymmetry to the dimensions, right? Although it does look weird, right? I mean, it feels weird that my tail has more gravity than I do. I think that's the reason why it feels so weird. Because the tail looks like it's just something dangling like in the air in a room, and then I'm driving a spaceship, right? Which feels like very low gravity. So there's sort of a dissonance there. Okay, I think that's easy enough to fix. I think we just turn the gravity back to normal.